So now we're back. I went and looked and it was 4 CFS. Right now we have 26 CFS. So again, it's the same process. We have our frequency, our precipitation, our initial abstraction. If we look at 77, there is a righto. It should not be 2.6. Whoops. So we'll fix this in the Excel sheet. So let's pretend, today's pretend, it was supposed to be a 43. We know errors are always good. We know that we're not a 43, we're actually a 77. That actually means this initial abstraction is even less. So this value of 26 is going to be even worse because this is too high for the initial abstraction. So when I change that to the correct value, right now 73 is 0.7. So it's going to go up in this value. This runoff in CFS is going to be much larger than 26. And I'll correct this when we go over it with the Excel sheet. So here's the thing, is even if it was a curve number of a 43 in post-development, because of the time of concentration that we're looking at, the runoff, we have to get down from a 26 peak discharge of CFS to a 4 CFS discharge because we're meeting pre versus post. So what we'll do in the next video lecture set is I'm going to take all of these worksheets and we're going to create them into one combined Excel program or Excel file, so you can have a pre-development set of data and a post-development set of data. So when you start to work on your projects, everything will be contained in one file and it'll be easier to manage. Plus you'll learn a little bit more about Excel and how it works. But the big thing in this is when we're talking about runoff, we're talking about not only looking at the inches of runoff over a total area, but we're also talking about the peak discharge. Now we have to match peak discharge pre versus post, and we have to account for all the runoff in acre inches. And the way that we do that is going to be based on our stormwater management facility. So we have to design this pond for that runoff. Now, we're not going to go on any further than that right now. Our next lecture will be about how we are going to design that stormwater retention pond to be proper sized to take into account the runoff that we have in post-development so that we can discharge to a pre-development peak of the 4 CFS or whatever CFS it is in pre-development. Also, we have to take into account the agency's jurisdictions of how much water quality we have to provide, and we'll do all of those. We'll look at what control structures are. We'll look at all of those calculations and how to set that up in the upcoming lectures. So right now, the next set of lecture videos will be over how to use Excel and how to put all of this data into a one site to get us the information. If throughout this semester, one other thing that we'll probably look at is the actual program, the TR55 Windows-based version program of that. So if I have time for this week's module, I'll add that in. If not, it will be set up for next week's module. Okay. But right now, today's lectures series is just going to has been over what are the data that we need to design by. So we had to figure out our time of concentration, our curve numbers, our runoff peak and peak discharge, and our runoff in acre inches or acre feet. We'll use all of that both for pre and post development to actually design our stormwater management pond. All right, so that's it for the first set of lectures, and if you have any questions, just let me know.